Hello and good morning and welcome to the mobility stage here in the West Hall. Hi, Sabrina.
Hey, good morning, Julian. Good morning to you guys.
So, empowering the future. If we are talking about empowering the future in electric vehicles, we currently see some hesitation in the adoption of electric vehicles. In some countries, the sales rates are slowing down, partly even decreasing. So, Sabrina, what do you think are the most important challenges at the moment?
Yeah, so first of all, yeah, you're right. I mean, a couple of months or years ago, there were growth rates predicted of 40% per year. So this is really a big growth rate, which was actually foreseen for electric vehicles. Even though it has slowed down, there's still a big growth expected. So at the moment, we usually expect about still 17% annual growth rate. So there's still big business to come up, even though it's a bit slowed down. But coming back to your question, yeah, I would say from our perspective, there are three major challenges we face, which are at the moment having a negative input on electric vehicle sales. So first of all, cost of electric vehicle. As you might know as well from your personal experience, electric vehicles are usually more expensive than combustion cars are. Then many people do have range anxiety because they have fears that they cannot charge the car when they need it, that they might not reach their target where they want to go. And the third topic is also coming a bit with the range anxiety, is the charging speed. Yeah, so there's still a way to go until we reach the expectation of the end customer, until we get the full acceptance for electric vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, those challenges have been discussed for quite a while. And of course, there are a lot of contributing factors on this. You, as Bosch Manufacturing Solutions and production equipment supplier, how can you contribute on this topic?
Yeah, so we can basically contribute on everything, especially about the battery manufacturing, because the battery is the most expensive part of the electric vehicle. So coming to that, there are basically two main aspects we as a special equipment provider we can contribute for. So the first thing is the precision, because this is one of the most important requirements in terms of high product consistency, which is required for the battery. And the second topic, for sure, productivity, because productivity has direct influence on the cost of the final product. So for doing that, we need an integration of system and process know-how, which we as Bosch Manufacturing Solutions do have, and we combine it with digital and intelligent solution, and this is the key enabler for us to help our customers to achieve their targets.
Could you maybe explain to us all here exactly how you're doing this?
Yeah, sure. So we do have what we call smart production equipment. So what does smart mean for us? Smart means that we do have within our assembly lines AI-driven process analysis within the process stations we supply. And in addition to that, we can also do that with real-time data analysis. Furthermore, we do have mechatronic standardized stations. With these mechatronic standards, we are first of all able to achieve the requirements from our customers in terms of price and delivery time, but also these standards give us the flexibility to adapt our product, the manufacturing line, to the customer's product. And in addition to that, we also serve our customers with a seamless digital tool chain. So what does digital tool chain mean for us? We do everything from the very first scratch in our digital tool chain, and this is enabling us in the end having digital twins for our stations, and also what we do very early stage in our projects is that we can conduct material flow simulation, and with that material flow simulation we are able to ensure the desired output for our customers. But what really the asset is about all that what I just told you is that we, as Bosch Manufacturing Solutions, we really do have a high level of vertical integration, because we're really deep into most of all the processes we do have. So with that high level of vertical integration, we are also able to access all the process raw data among the complete manufacturing line.
Great. So you were talking about productivity and also precision. I guess all of you are interested in maybe getting some more examples on this topic?
Yeah, so as I just said, precision is really key for the product consistency. So if you imagine a battery, for example, you have an automotive battery with prismatic cells. So nowadays, we do have cell stacks with a length of 1 meter, 1.5 meters, 2 meters. If you think about the current development into cell-to-pack, and then you come up with cylindrical cells, you easily end up in having 800, 1,000, or even more cylindrical cells in one battery. So as you can imagine from us as a production equipment provider, this is really hard because you have so many parts, and then you get a really long tolerance chain. And these we have to compensate, because in the end, we have to weld and fix these batteries together with the very, very precise contacting system of the battery. So how do we do that within Bosch Manufacturing Solution? We do have, especially now for welding and the topic with the cell contacting system, an innovative process which is able for us to weld the parts with high speed and the best process control you can imagine. So to dig a bit deeper what it really is, we call it the in-fly battery laser welding. So in-fly stands for on-the-fly, intelligent and optically guided laser welding. With this, for us developed methodology, we are able to enhance the process stability, because with that solution, we are able to compensate the tolerances coming from the product as well from the manufacturing process. In addition, with that technology, we can increase the productivity of our line. Why is that? Because with that solution, we can optimize the cycle time and also operate with a high manufacturing speed. And last not least, we can also reduce the scrap rates and therefore generate cost saving. Because with the solution, we cannot be really fast. We are also able to make a dynamic correction of the weld seam for the product consistency.
Thank you, and I think, Sabrina, you also brought some videos, so for those of you who are not quite into battery manufacturing, you will have at least a view of how this works. So, but maybe could you give the audience and also us some detailed description on how this exactly works?
So we can somehow put it down to 4 topics. So the first one is the automated optical inspection. So what we do here is that we capture the actual position of the weld spot before the welding. With doing that, we are then able afterwards to make an adjustment of the weld seam in real time with our own developed scanner optics and the software for this scanner. Second topic is the already mentioned welding on the fly. With the welding on the fly, which is optically guided, we are able to do continuous welding while the part is moving. So you might have seen it in the video. You can imagine there are 2 opportunities of this kind of technology to be used. So the first thing is we keep the laser head stiff and we move the part underneath the laser. And with the technology we do have, we can do this really, really fast. We can realize velocities up to 1,000 millimeters per second. And we can also use it if there's a really big product that we move the laser head and keep the product stiff. So compared to many other laser solutions where you have to stop the part, you have to clamp it, you have to fix it, we have overcome that topic with that solution. The first thing we can do with our in-fly laser welding is an intelligent weld seam correction. So we do detect the battery poles and the contact system. So you might think, okay, then you have an additional station, so this is not so good in terms of footprint. No, we don't need that. We do this detection through the optics of the laser. And as we also have the own software of the scanner, we can process the data directly in the laser scanner. And by having the information of the battery poles as well as the contacting system, we can calculate the optimum weld position in X, Y, and Z direction, and therefore do a dynamic adjustment of the weld seam, which could also incorporate the energy we put into the weld. And the fourth topic is that after we've done the welding, we can also implement an AI-based weld seam inspection. For that, we can use 2D and 3D imaging systems for automated inspection. And with these, we can then do the image processing with built-in AI system, which can be trained by using examples. So there is even no need to make an additional programming for this solution.
Very impressive. Thank you. So you were already talking about the topic of productivity. If we look into an electric vehicle, of course, the battery is a major cost factor. So productivity must be a key issue you're addressing, and you mentioned it earlier. Could you also, to this topic, maybe give an additional example?
Yeah, sure. So as you just said at the very beginning, I mentioned that productivity is key to reduce the production cost. So as you might have already recognized while I was talking about the welding and joining the contacting system to the batteries, generally there are really complex manufacturing processes when it comes to manufacture an automotive battery. So this is leading very often to an increase in downtime and to losses in productivity. So what we can do to help our customers to minimize the risk that we have these kind of issues is that we can support it with real-time data processing with different AI algorithm on the edge.
So we're here on the CES, and so I think you as Bosch Manufacturing Solutions also have some digital and intelligent solution which comes with your expertise in the process. So do you, or could you also explain the portfolio you have there?
Yeah, for sure. So overall, we usually have the factory network and the MES system. And the next layer is then the edge layer. And within the edge layer, we do have different solutions within our digital portfolio. So one could be condition monitoring, one could be prediction, for example, predictive maintenance for your manufacturing line. We also do have system connectivity solutions because we need to bring then almost everything into our connected network so that we can use the data as best as possible. And in addition, we can use these kind of solutions to make data analysis as well as intelligent process optimization. And there I want to dig a bit deeper in one example which I brought today. So the example I want to talk about a bit more now is the so-called AI-based anomaly detection and root cause analysis. So what you can see here in the back on the screen is an AI solution to ensure the quality during the laser welding. What we do here is that we detect the so-called back reflection of the light during the weld. So this is giving us good information if we have any issues during the welding. So you I don't know how far you're into laser welding, but there is like a melting pot, and also within the middle of the melting pot there's some gas. And sometimes it can happen that there is like a collapse, and then in the end you end up with having voids or inclusions of gas into your weld seam. And this is something you want to avoid for sure. And with the detection of this back reflection, we already get during the process an indication if this part could be faulty. So then we have the ability to take that part out and mark it at least as suspicious and look a bit deeper if the weld seam is still delivering the required quality or if we might have to do a rework. And we don't have to finish the product until the very end before we then might find the failure. So this is really helpful, especially in terms of output and productivity of the complete line. So go more a bit deeper into the solution, what we do. So we do monitor and improve the process with using deep learning advanced models here on this AI-based solution. For these advanced models, there's one big advantage that we can do an analysis of multiple signals simultaneously. So there's no need to make it stepwise, so we can just do it all at once. And the third big advantage of that is that we can identify potential problems such as machine faults or quality deviations in real time. So we don't need to have to wait. And as I just mentioned, maybe there's for some process, which is not the laser welding, even possible to already readjust the parameters to still get an OK part out. So I now was talking very long about the anomaly detection. So then we find an anomaly, but maybe we don't know where it comes from. And therefore, we also do have a solution. So we do have a root cause analysis system also, which is based on AI models which are trained on time series data. So these can be used for causality inference in real manufacturing use cases. And with these information, we can also generate top causes for the deviation in quality parameters. So there we can find why we do have this scrap generation. And the third thing about this solution is that we can get a causal graph, which is interfering, which are the most likely failures which can occur during the production.
Thank you very much for those two examples, Sabrina. So it seems like you're very well positioned to optimize the entire production process. So maybe I can summarize a little bit. So you do not only own the data interfaces, but in combination with the deep process know-how, like you just showed with the laser welding, you're very well positioned to interpret the data and then close the loop and put it back into the entire production chain. So with this comprehensive approach of not only the process expertise, but also the digital and intelligent solutions, you're very well based to enhance the overall production process. So now, if we look into Bosch Manufacturing Solutions, Bosch is really famous for white goods. You can see it here on the side for automotive components, but maybe give some more insights on what really Bosch Manufacturing Solutions is doing.
Yeah, so you're right. Many people approached us also here during the fair and said, hey, we don't know that Bosch is doing that. Yeah, that's true. I mean, actually, we're existing more than 30 years already as a special machinery supplier and turnkey provider for production equipment. By doing that or being so long in this market, we already established more than 4,000 assembly and testing systems globally. And what is also differentiating us from some of our competitors is that we really closely linked to the corporate research department of Bosch. So we do have many people who are really deep experts in their processes. And as you just mentioned, this is enabling us for our customers to find the best solution because we really also understand the cause-effect chain behind the process, and we can help the customer also maybe to design the product that it can be manufactured better. And with this knowledge and as well the know-how we do have in a digital solution, we can really take the data which are most crucial for the output of such a production line and then incorporate this in our digital solution to, in the end, get a high productive production line out for our customer. So as I just said, that we have like more than 4,000 machineries installed globally. This is why we do have 9 locations worldwide. So we do have locations in China, in India, different locations in Europe, like for sure Germany, where our headquarters is located, but also in Spain and Turkey. And also here in the US, we do have a location as well as in Mexico. So this global footprint is also a big advantage for our customers because we could serve then the equipment not just in one location, but just all over the globe. And this is really something which is also a great benefit for many of our customers.
Thank you, Sabrina, for those interesting insights. So To wrap this up, thank you so much for the presentation. Thank you so much for visiting us. And also, Bosch has a booth in the central hall. So I think you would be very excited to welcome some of you at the Bosch booth. And so, yeah, thank you for listening to us and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.